to Heidi in Wisconsin.
Yes, first of all, my deepest gratitude to you, Colonel Lakin, for upholding your oath to defend our Constitution. My question may be best answered by Paul Jensen there. Obama admits his citizenship status at birth was governed by the British Nationality Act of 1948 on his Fight the Smears website. Since natural-born citizenship requires two citizen parents and no divided allegiances, how can someone who is a British citizen at birth be a natural-born citizen of the United States of America?
Well, it's quite evident that unless somebody is born as a natural-born citizen, you can't become a natural-born citizen later on. The issues will likely be litigated in our court-martial, and this is something we're looking forward to putting before the court.
Thank you, Heidi. We appreciate your listening and your calling. From Rhode Island, Nancy, you're on the air.
Thank you very much. Colonel Lakin, my concern is that the government is maybe going to try to get out of doing a court-martial, and does the fact that they have now assigned you as opposed to ordered you to Walter Reed, is that a way that they could potentially obviate the need to do a court-martial? And is there any way you could still force that issue?
Well, as the attorney, I'm going to answer that because Colonel Lakin is certainly standing up and inviting his own court-martial. That doesn't mean that he's looking forward to it and wants to poke the Army in the eye. So with that regard, Colonel Lakin is reporting for duty at Walter Reed, and there's not much more we can say about that.
I am sick and tired of people who say that if you debate and you disagree with this administration, somehow you're not patriotic, and we should stand up and say we are Americans and we have a right to debate and disagree with any administration.
Appreciate that. Let's go to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Dan.
Hello, Dan Howard here, former Oklahoma State Trooper, and I must say, first of all, I am so proud of you, Lieutenant Colonel, and I speak on behalf of many, many people out here in the heartland. I have one quick question and one suggestion. I believe that most of the time that the people pushing this issue with us have gone on TV and given interviews, they've missed one possible point to shut these journalists down that don't want to cover the facts. I think they need to go on there with a copy of a certification of live birth, and then go on there with a copy of a real certificate of live birth issued in the 60s, and hold them up and let people see what the difference is. That's a suggestion. Also, I would like to ask you, what do you feel the next 90, 120 days will have in store for you, and anything we can do to help you, please expand on that.
Well, let me take that as well. The next caller's suggestion is an outstanding one, and I've looked at these long-form birth certificates, and they look just like the ones that my kids have, and you probably have, and nothing like what the campaign submitted, the certificate of live birth, which is nothing more than an abstract, computer-generated abstract of data in their computer system. It says nothing about where that information came from, whether it came from a birth certificate signed by the doctor back in 1961, or it came from an application under the statute I just cited to you 5 years ago. We have no way of knowing. In terms of the next 60 to 90 days, we think that Colonel Lakin is going to be charged, and the Article 32 investigation will be begun and completed within that period of time, but that timetable is not in our hands, it's in the prosecution's hands. What people can do to support us and to support Colonel Lakin in his heroic and self-sacrificing endeavor is to make a donation which is tax-deductible. All donations to the American Patriot Foundation are tax-deductible under the law, and they can be made at www.safeguardourconstitution.com. That, more than anything else, is what people can do to help, other than to pray. And I think prayer is even more important than financial donations.
This is
Jerry Corsi. Very quickly, I can just interject. The difference between a certificate of live birth, the short form, and the long form original birth certificate is the original long form birth certificate will list the hospital the person's born at and the attending physician. The short form does not contain that information. The short form could be triggered simply by a family member coming in and affirming that a baby was born in the state. Hawaii's laws in 1961 did not require further proof than that.
Or today.
Or today,
they don't
correct.
require it today.
Correct.
I am sick and tired of people who say that if you debate and you disagree with this administration, somehow you're not patriotic, and we should stand up and say, we are Americans and we have a right to debate and disagree with any administration.
I see. So all you have to do is go in and make the assertion, and they will accept your word on it. And my understanding is, by the way, that that document is not sufficient for which to get a passport.
That's correct. And moreover, it's only prima facie evidence in court. It's completely rebuttable. It only creates a presumption. It does not create it is not conclusive evidence.